You guys got I got protection now.
Austin Ward, the podcast.
Ryan, how much different does your running game look now than the way you or Justin and Brian might have thought in August? How much different was what you just pictured?
I mean, not that much different. You know, you just try to figure out what they do best and what fits the running backs the best and the group the best. You know, but ultimately it's not like it's drastically different, but you know, the run game and succeeding at this level, you know, it's about the details and the little things and the high levels of execution. It takes just a little bit to be off. So, but I do think, you know, we got a pretty good idea now, finally, you know, kind of what our guys do best. And so now we got to go, you know, be at our best.
Nathan Barrett, Cleveland.com.
I know there's a lot of talk this week about, you know, the senior class that's going to be coming out. You also have this nucleus of third-year guys with really high expectations.
Yeah.
What's the vibe you're getting from them as this regular season winds down and you're supposed to a lot of them?
Well, like you said, those guys, that group, they came in and played a bunch early on. And it was great because, you know, we're starting to see them play like veterans in year three when usually, you know, guys are coming into their own in year three. These guys have played a lot, so when you see some of them, you know, it's hard to think they've only been here for 3 years when, you know, they're very mature in their approach. They prepare at a high level, and, you know, they've already had a huge impact on our team. So that combined with, you know, the fourth and fifth year guys just makes for a team that you know, has had experiences. They come to work every day and they push each other. There's a lot of consistency there, and you know, they're determined to reach our goals.
Folks, we're going to have Coach Hartline at the middle 20, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, if you guys can't have Mike this week or next week, who are some of the guys that you expect to step up? And then furthermore, Taiwan Malone and his development throughout this year. I know that he's played baseball for a while, but how is he developing, and could he be somebody that could potentially start to rotate at one time? Yeah,
I think the whole group is going to get challenged, but I think we have some guys who have stepped up. I think you've seen certainly Ty and Ty both play well. You know, Hero's gotten a bunch of reps. Cade McDonald really has flashed a bunch in practice. Taiwan now is just dedicated just to football, so you know, he's growing. But I mean, it's a good group of guys. It's a group. Jaden McKenzie's, you know, played a lot of football for us as well. So you know, they'll have to step up and you know, and help out in that area. But I feel like, you know, some of those guys have done that, and now, you know, we get in November, you know, they got to get on the field and play. They got to get on the field and play. But you know, the practice looks good, and those guys, you know, I think they're ready to go, and I think Larry has a lot of confidence putting them in a game.
Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, two-parter. You're competitive. There's a big hearing in the morning up in Michigan. Do you want Jim Harbaugh on the sideline for the game?
You know, it's like I said, I appreciate it. I know, you know, there's a lot out there. I'm focused on my team. You know, we got to play at Minnesota. We got to beat these guys, and then we'll move on to what comes next after that. But, you know, we got things here we got to keep getting better at, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Get on this film after practice and go from there and worry about the things that I can control.
Second part on that is, I don't know if you've been asked directly, do you think Michigan stole your sign?
Yeah, again, I appreciate the question. I'd ask the question too if I was you, but I'm not going to answer that.
Tim May, On 3, Tim May Show.
Yeah, I'm going to waste it on this. Brad, that Jelani Thurman has been on the field. You know, took his black stripe off middle of spring last year. Have you seen a little more of a skip in his step? I mean, what do you see coming on there that could possibly pay dividends?
Yeah, I see that. I see what you're talking about. But I also see somebody that when the competition increases, he gets to the front of the line. Whenever we have competitions in practice, he seems to find a way to the front of the line to get in there and compete. And that's a great sign for a young player. He's extremely competitive, and he's learning, and he's getting those reps. And I wish, you know, you could just do it overnight. You can at tight end. It just takes a lot of time. You got to build up callus. You got to build up reps. He's doing that. I think you can see the talent. And if he continues on that path, then he's going to have a great career. But yeah, anytime you get out there and you get a couple catches and you play, you know, practice feels different the next week, and I think you saw that this week.
Did Kate get through the week okay?
Yeah, he did. Had a good week. Yes, sir.
Bill Landis, podcast.
Brian, the Michigan State game might have been the offense's best in terms of using play action. They set up a lot of good hits, like 200 passing yards. How much of the work to see the offense kind of hinged on hitting on that kind of stuff more regularly? And I guess how do you build on it?
Well, it starts with the run game. When you run efficiently, then it opens up explosive plays in a pass game when they have to take guys down. You know that, but I mean, yeah, it all starts with the run game and then putting guys in conflict. You're still going to mix in drop back pass. That's part of the game, but when we're running at a high level, then it certainly allows us to be explosive in the passing game. And with our talent on the perimeter, that's why running the football is so important, because it just has such an effect on the rest of the game.
Doug Maurice, Kings of the North.
Ryan, I'm not asking about specific injuries. I'm just asking about health of the team.
Yep.
Right. Just generally, how do you feel about it here at the end of November? An obvious question, how important is health for any team trying to reach high goals? Very important. Very important.
And I feel good. I feel like we're going to be at just about max capacity here. There'll be a couple guys that we've lost, but coming down the home stretch, I feel good about it. But it's week to week, so we've had a good week of practice here, and I feel strong. But it is important to make sure you have everybody and all the bullets in the chamber.
And final question, Clay Aldo, yes, why?
Yeah, feature question. The guy you see with the bucket of Buckeyes that we're doing a feature
yeah.
on this guy. Have you gotten to know him at all? Do you appreciate his devotion
yeah.
to the cause? And I guess he's got his kids involved.
Yeah, well, it's something that the traditions are great at Ohio State, and that's sort of become a tradition for me and whoever comes with me on my walk or on the walk with me. It's usually one of my children. I don't think I've done a walk without somebody, whether it's RJ, Grace, or Nia. And every time they're there, they give me a Buckeye and they give them one, and then we keep it. We keep them, and I have them in my locker and inside. And then every once in a while, I'll give them to somebody who walks in the shoe and in the locker room. We don't get a bunch of visitors in there, but when we do, it's a great gesture. But yeah, it's just an example of how important Ohio State football is to so many people, and that's just an example of somebody who's just dedicated their time to try to make an impact on everybody to make game day experience better. So we certainly appreciate it.
He doesn't pass plays to you, does he?
No.
Got one last question, Coach.
Yeah.
Bill Rabinowitz,
Yeah.
Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah.
Everybody's styles, and he turned 19.
Right.
For him to make the impact he's had already, I mean, that's obviously a testament to his ability and work ethic. What's impressed you the most on making him?
Yeah. Well, it's easy to see his skill set. You see his size. You see what he can do. You watch him on the basketball court when he was recruiting him. You watch his football, his range. I mean, that's the first thing you notice. But then you just realize that he has a quiet confidence about him. He's very serious. He can take hard coaching. He's very critical of himself. He takes great care of his body. Just very mature for somebody his age. I'm trying to think of the last time we had somebody that young who's made such an impact. It might be Paris Campbell. Remember how young Paris was when he was here? I think he came in at almost like 16 or 17. But you just, in order to do something like that, you have to be very mature, and he is. And I think coming early like that certainly isn't for everybody, but for him, it has paid off and allowed him to make more of an impact this season. Yep.
Great. Coach,
Thanks,
you very
guys.
much.
Yep.